Step back and see the macro and digest it down to the micro. Trading, investing, and geopolitics from macro down to the micro. Welcome to Macronomics.
Welcome back to Macronomics, guys. Welcome. So we're going to continue off with what we started last week. As we move forward, we're going to continue to keep solidifying. This week is simply an overview of some things that we have learned this past week that we are going to implement and continue to bring into awareness and learn from. And as we move forward, we are looking to bring on some guests as well as serve as a guest on other people's podcasts so we can continue to connect with other people within our industry and our niche, right? So we can continue to bring the macro to the micro. So, excuse the background noise. I'm at the park right now. Just got done playing basketball, checking some trades, and organizing for the coming week. So today, guys, simple insight that from this week is part of our strategy that we've been talking to you guys about is essentially, letting our winners ride and cutting our losses short. But what we've learned from this past week is that we've had two specific trades, one with USD CAD and another one with Great Britain Pound and the US dollar. And essentially, both of these instruments, we was able to get in a trade where it moved our way, right? And we was up. But then it completely reversed to where we had to cut it. And the reason why, so after we was looking at this, we were like, okay, why do we keep getting stuck in this trap? Not even trap, but why do we keep getting stuck to where we're not catching the full move to where we want to be? And we feel it's because we have not been looking at it from a higher perspective, right? We've been primarily looking at the trades from a daily setup instead of looking at the weekly setup. See, there's a lot of sources, like the powers that be, right? The different market participants, the large institutions that trade in currencies and, whole economies that trade, they don't move in just one block. They move in multiple blocks over a long time frame. So after just sitting and digesting this, we've seen that we have to operate from the weekly and then zoom in and set our trade setup that way. Now, I'm not saying you need to trade this way. I'm simply sharing, our setup right now as far as our trading account, what we're doing in this specific strategy. And we are trying to ride these trends. And so in order for us to fully capitalize on this move, we have to be aware of the higher perspective. And that's where trading from the weekly and not the daily. And so let's actually dive into that a little bit. In what areas of your trading do you get caught in that? Maybe you're looking at the hourly, right? And you see a move going up. But on the higher time frame above that, maybe on the daily, you see that it's actually in a huge downtrend and this is just a pullback. I'm sure we all have gotten caught up in that. And as we move forward, we got to bring awareness to that. What is the overall move here, right? If you're able to isolate and identify this specific move, but not just the move, the greater move beyond that, then you can move in accordance with it. And then you can have the conviction to wait for your setup and then go in with the conviction to follow through. Now, if you're just trading, if you haven't looked at the charts, you haven't developed that conviction, and you're just looking from a smaller time frame, then you could be getting caught in a move that is going to sweep you. Now, if you're just trading that chart, right, and you're not trying to ride a trend, then this wouldn't apply to you because your methodology is a little different. Right, and so is ours. This is not the only way we trade, but as we continue moving forward, we have other endeavors and things that we do as well. This is the way we like to trade. We like to trade from a higher time frame and catch these big moves and ride waves. I feel like there's a lot of discipline that goes into it, and it's a process for sure, but it's one that we enjoy learning about. And so that's one thing we've learned from this week. And also, the second one that we'd also add for this week that I'm sure we all can relate to is letting the market come to you, man. Letting the market come to you. This is a big one coming in this next week that we're going to solidify, because when you don't let the market come to you, you can get caught up in a lot of the wave can overcome you. But I feel like when you wait for the trade to come up and you've identified some parameters and it responds to that, then you can move with conviction. But I know we all get that FOMO. It's like, oh damn, it's moving now, look at that big move, let me hop in. And then of course it reverses on you. I feel like trading is such a beautiful and that's not even a game. It's more like it's you. Like, everybody talks about the market and what strategy wins and what's going to help. It's none of that. It's you. What are you doing? What is your discipline? Your discipline is what makes the strategy work. Your discipline. And so we're not going to dive in too much deeper on those points, guys. That's simply what we got for this week. Patience and looking at the trade from a higher perspective. When you identify that pattern, not even pattern, when you identify that move, right? Because patterns, they've happened in the past. That doesn't mean they'll happen in the future, right? And remember, I love this perspective from Mark Douglas's book. It's probabilities, not predictability. We're not trying to predict where the instrument is moving. Absolutely not. We have a probability. We're Oh, let me take my time with this because this is a little tongue twister. We are probabilistically, probably okay. Let's just give it up. The damn it, I gotta get it, guys. Okay, all right. The probabilities is what we're after, right? If the probabilities are in our favor, boom, it's stacked in our favor, right? And then here's another thing. We plan losing into our strategy, right? If you do not plan to lose, you plan to fail. You plan to fail because you're not going to win every trade. You have to learn how to lose, like we spoke about in Best Losers Win, Tom Hugard's book. That's a great book. Best losers win. You got to learn how to lose, and you got to set it up to lose sometimes, right? It's okay. We're not trying to predict where the market is going, right? We're simply moving with it. And when you can do that, you're going to move with so much more conviction. You're not going to have the emotional connection to these trades. You're going to move. You're going to have the discipline to move efficiently and with confidence. So, yeah, that's it for this week, guys. Those two insights. Looking from the higher perspective and then having the patience once you identify that, right? Once you identify that move that you would like to enter, then you have the patience to wait for your setup, to put your parameters, whether it's your channels, whether it's your support and resistance areas, having the patience for that. Very important, guys. So those are our two insights for this week. Until the next one, keep putting the micro in the macro, or the macro to the micro. Bring the macro to the micro. The macro is your experience, right? That's the overview. Now bring it down to the micro where it's actionable and implementable, if you will, in those steps that you're going to be taking next week. When it's time to put it in perspective, bring that macro to the micro. Until the next one, guys, I'll talk to you soon.